Imagine the camera slowly gliding over dense, mist-shrouded forests. Ancient rock carvings barely visible through the morning fog, and rivers that have whispered secrets for centuries. The soft sound of drums beats faintly in the background, blending with the distant calls of wild birds. A deep, reflective voice begins. Long before the cities, the roads, the borders, there were stories carried by the first people of this land. Tales of heroes, spirits, and worlds beyond our own. These were the voices of a living culture, passed down from generation to generation, woven into the very fabric of the earth, until they were silenced. The camera cuts to worn, fading manuscripts, fragments of oral histories, and images of ceremonies that were outlawed and forgotten. The voice continues. Colonization swept across the continent, and with it came the erasure of countless legends. Stories erased not by time, but by force, misunderstanding, and fear. Names forgotten, heroes lost, and myths rewritten or simply vanished. The scene shifts to tribal elders speaking in quiet tones, a child listening intently, their eyes reflecting curiosity and awe, as if peering into the doorway of a world that once existed fully. Yet even in the shadows, whispers remain. Echoes of spirits, of tricksters, of sacred teachings that survived only in fragments, waiting for someone to listen. Tonight we journey into the forgotten corners of history to uncover the lost Native American legends that history tried to erase, to give voice to stories that were never meant to be lost, and to remember the wisdom they still hold. The music swells gently, a mixture of reverence and mystery as the camera slowly pans across a sunrise over sacred landscapes, signaling the beginning of a journey into the heart of forgotten worlds, inviting the viewer to step quietly into stories that are both ancient and alive. The forest grows denser as the camera drifts through towering trees, sunlight piercing through the canopy in streaks, illuminating moss-covered stones and ancient petroglyphs carved by hands long gone. The voice returns, calm and reverent. Among the many lost legends are the creation stories, tales of how the world and its people came to be. The Hopi speak of a journey through underground worlds, of emergence and rebirth, where humanity learned to live in harmony with the earth and the spirits that watch over it. The Lakota tell of a sacred tree that connected the heavens and the earth, a bridge between worlds, teaching lessons of balance, respect, and patience. These myths were more than stories. They were guides, maps of understanding the world and our place within it. But when outsiders recorded these tales, the words were often altered, simplified, or dismissed, leaving only fragments behind, shadows of the wisdom they once held. The camera shifts to rivers that glisten in the morning light, their waters flowing past abandoned settlements and ceremonial grounds. Then there were the heroes and spirit guardians, figures whose deeds shaped the land and the people. Nanabozo, the Ojibwe trickster, taught lessons in humility, resilience, and the consequences of pride. The thunderbird soared across the skies, wielding storms as both protector and judge, reminding people of the power and mystery that exists beyond human comprehension. But the stories of these beings, once central to daily life and spiritual practice, were suppressed. Missionaries, government agents, and settlers deemed them superstition or pagan, and over generations, many of these tales were lost to silence, whispered only among elders and a few devoted storytellers. The scene darkens slightly, a visual metaphor for the suppression of culture, showing closed schools, dusty books, and deserted tribal villages. History is not neutral. Forced assimilation, the outlawing of ceremonies, and the destruction of sacred texts tore at the fabric of native communities. Children were sent to boarding schools where speaking their language or sharing their stories could result in punishment. Whole chapters of history, myths, songs, and teachings vanished in these halls. Legends that once carried lessons about morality, nature, and survival were reduced to footnotes or lost entirely. Soft light returns as the camera captures a young girl listening to her grandmother speak, their hands tracing symbolic carvings on a wooden staff. That even in the face of such erasure, these stories endure. Tribal elders and oral historians have worked tirelessly to recover and preserve the fragments that remain. Some stories have found their way into books, films, and cultural programs, and modern storytellers are breathing new life into the old myths. Each recovered tale is a thread, stitching together a tapestry that had been torn apart. reminding us that these legends are not relics, they are living, evolving, and teaching even today. The voice slows, reflective, as the camera pans across sacred landscapes, mountains, rivers, deserts, and forests, each holding traces of stories once whispered around campfires. From creation myths to tricksters, from guardians of the skies to spirits of the forests, these legends carry the echoes of a people who saw the world as alive, sacred, and interconnected. Recovering them is more than curiosity, is a form of remembrance, a way to honor those whose voices were nearly silenced. And to learn from wisdom that has survived despite everything. The music swells subtly, a blend of hope and reverence, leaving the viewer with a sense of awe and quiet introspection. Though much has been lost, what remains is precious, a call to listen, to seek out, and to carry forward the stories that teach us not only about the past, but about the enduring spirit of those who came before us. The camera lingers over a golden sunset spilling across mountains, rivers glinting like molten silver, and forests standing tall as silent witnesses to centuries gone by. The voice returns calm and reverent. The lost legends of Native America remind us that history is never only written in books. It lives in the land and the stories passed from elder to child, in the songs, the dances, the symbols that survive despite all attempts to erase them. Each fragment we recover is a testament to resilience, a whisper of voices that refuse to vanish completely. The scene shifts to children sitting in a circle, listening to an elder tell a story, their faces illuminated by firelight, eyes wide with wonder. These stories teach us more than myths. They teach us humility, respect for nature, and the value of community. They remind us that even when voices are silenced, the spirit of a people endures, waiting for someone willing to listen, to learn, and to remember. The camera rises slowly above the landscapes once again, capturing sacred mountains, winding rivers, and quiet forests as the music swells softly, a mixture of awe and hope. Though many legends were erased, their essence lives on, and it is up to us to honor them, to preserve what remains, to pass it forward, and to let the wisdom of the past illuminate the path of the future. Listen closely, and you may hear the echoes of stories that refuse to be forgotten. The screen fades to black, leaving only the soft drumbeat and a lingering sense of mystery, reverence, and connection, signaling the end of the journey through the lost legends, but the beginning of remembering.